conference play. It's next on Big Sky Game Day. Bobcat Stadium in Bozeman. This is Big Sky Game Day. This afternoon, it's the conference opener in the sky as Northern Colorado heads to Bozeman to take on the Cats from Montana State. Hi again, everyone. I'm Chris Byers along with my partner, Mike Callahan. And Mike, this is a great time of year. The preseason in the books. Now we're playing for keeps.
Yeah, everybody starts out even in the conference standings today, no matter what happened, good or bad, the last 3 weeks.
Exactly right. Now, Northern Colorado, this is a team in transition. Did not win a game last year under first-year head coach Ernest Collins. They come in at 1-2. They're decided underdogs, no question about it. However, if you look for areas where they could be very tough, let's start on defense. They got a good one.
Well, they got a beast in the middle in linebacker Clarence Bumpus. He led the Big Sky in tackles last year and is on top of that category again already this season.
Buck Buchanan watch list. One of the best, if not the best, linebackers in the Big Sky Conference this year. For Montana State, wow, what a pleasant surprise on offense from Tanner Bleskin.
Yeah, the junior wideout, Tanner Bleskin, has established himself as the go-to guy in that Montana State passing game. 10 catches, 180 yards last week against Stephen F. Austin, a performance that earned him Big Sky Player of the Week honors.
And you have to say, Mike, that really in that game last week, he was the difference maker, allowing the Bobcats to stay unbeaten as they turn back the Lumberjacks. Now, for the keys to this game, let's go down on the field and join Jeff Eberly. Hi, Jeff.
Chris, Montana State had a big-time game last week against Stephen F. Austin, but they're not messing around this week for the opening of Big Sky play. They had a clock in the locker room counting down the days, hours, minutes, and seconds to kick off against Northern Colorado, and we're about a couple minutes from kickoff. For your Billings Hotel and Convention Center keys to the game, starting out with Northern Colorado, #1 safety Marcel Gibbons. He played 5 positions last year, and he had a career-high 14 tackles against the Bobcats in 2011. He's got to be big time on defense. #2 wide receiver Jace Davis. He's kind of like Arenzo Davis for the Bobcats in that he missed all of 2011 with academic issues, but in 2010 he was beast mode. Against Montana State, he had a career-high 207 yards receiving against the Bobcats. And #3, keep it close. Northern Colorado was only down by 3 points midway through the fourth quarter last year in Greeley against MSU. Keep it close. Who knows what's going to happen? And for Montana State, #1 offensive line progress. Head coach Rob Ash really likes what he's seen from left tackle John Weinauer and left guard Matthew Devereaux. Look for them to mature against Northern Colorado today. #2, come out firing. Denarius McGee and company need to put up a lot of points early and often to squash any thought of an upset here in Bozeman. And #3, don't look ahead, Montana State. A big-time game next week against Southern Utah and Brad Sorensen. Well, you know what? You're not playing QB Brad Sorensen this week. You're playing QB Seth Lobato. So focus on the Bears this week and take care of business. So those are your Billings Hotel and Convention Center keys to the game. Bears and Bobcats next.
Bobcat Stadium in Bozeman as Montana State takes the field on an absolute gorgeous early fall afternoon here in the Gallatin Valley. And Mike, Big Sky Conference opener under sunny skies, 69 degrees, no wind. This should be fun today, if for no other reason, we're starting league play today.
Yeah, you can feel it. Always a little bit different atmosphere.
Overall series record goes to Montana State. It's a series that dates back to 1923. And in Bozeman, the Cats have dominant, winning 10 of 15 games. Coaching comparisons, one's a veteran, one's a relative rookie. Rob Ash, of course, now in his 6th season, chasing Sonny Holland's all-time win mark. I hope he didn't hear me. He's sitting right next to us. 42 wins. Meanwhile, Ernest Collins Jr. now in his 2nd season with Northern Colorado. He's a graduate of that school and trying to rebuild this Bears program.
Yeah, and he's got to move, and they had a solid performance last week at Sac State.
Referee is Kelly Holman. Pontarelli's the umpire, and Terry White is the head linesman for this afternoon's Big Sky Conference opening. Bears will receive to start the game. And boy, when you talk about special teams play, Mike, there's one number that jumps out of your screen for Northern Colorado. You know who I'm talking about.
I do. 16, Dominic Gunn is just a phenomenal return man. Has been big in the punt return game twice. A 74-yarder last week at Sac State for a touchdown. The week before, a 69-yarder. Still trying to get it going in the kick return game.
Over 150 yards a game and all-purpose offense for the Bears. We're going to be calling his name, I believe, early and often as Northern Colorado will try to jumpstart their offense. They were pretty good last week in a loss to Sacramento State as their quarterback threw for over 300 yards.
Yeah, just the turnover bug really hurt them last week, but outnumbered Sac State everywhere but the scoreboard.
A.J. Silva will kick it away, and let's see if they kick it to Gunn and give him a chance. Crowd on their feet. It's a good one here in Bobcat Stadium. Picture perfect afternoon. Silva's kick is high and deep. That's going to drive Gunn back into the end zone, and he won't bring it out. So the best way to shut him down is don't give him a chance to run it out,
yeah,
right?
A little breeze behind Silva on that one. He was able to get it deep in the end zone and eliminate that return threat.
And there's a look at the starting quarterback, Seth Lobato. Last week, you see the numbers, 30 of 54, 327 yards, did have the 3 interceptions, but threw the ball pretty well.
Yeah, he is a strong drop back throwing quarterback. Not really the dual threat guy that you'll see on the other side of the field today, but he can drop back and throw it.
Hildreth is in the backfield. Here's Lobato, first play from scrimmage, can't find anyone, now rolls left, chased by Preston Gale and brought down. Gale with some backside pursuit brings him down, no gain on the play. Here's the Western States Insurance starting lineup. Says Thrall in the middle gets the start today. This is his first ever start at center. Backs and receivers. Of course, Gunn is the main weapon in that attack there. Hildreth opens at running back for the Bears. Bobcats up front, Gale, Taylor Dees, Ashworth, and Schreibeis. The linebackers, Moyaki, Yola, Owens, and Moore. And in the backfield, Fuller, Jones, Bethley, and Deontay Flowers. No gain on the play. Say lost one. 2nd and 11 now from the 24. Lobato, quick drop, fires it out there, incomplete. That was intended for Dimitri Stemphill and brings up 3rd down.
Just a short drop that time for Seth Lobato. Try to get it to the outside. Had a receiver open, Chris, but a little bit high in the delivery.
Now the Bears, as we talked about in the pregame, have played Montana State relatively well. 5 of the last 6 games within 13 points. Talked about the game last year when the Cats had to rally to win in Greeley. So 3rd and 11 now from the 24. As Lobato, straight drop, looks across the middle, fires out there, incomplete. Good coverage by Darius Jones. And that brings up 4th down, and the Bears are 3 and out and have to punt it away.
Well, a good start for that Montana State defense. They have been lights out on D so far this year, allowing a 3rd down conversion rate of 23%. The best in the Big Sky so far.
Sean Johnson is back to receive the kick of Mason Puckett. Puckett, a senior, stands just inside his 10-yard line. Puckett gets this one away, angles it right side, kicks it off the side of his foot though. Oh, and the Bobcats are going to get great position on their opening drive as they'll mark the ball out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So a short field for Montana State as they open on offense. Rob Ash, Mike, was asked during the week if he felt this team might overlook this Northern Colorado team. I'll tell you what he said in a moment, but here's the starting quarterback for Montana State, of course, Denarius McGee. 7 touchdowns against 4 interceptions so far through 3 games this season. First down. Give us to Cody Kirk, breaks 1 tackle, but then wrapped up and dropped down. Short gain of the play, maybe 1 for Cody, so that's going to make it 2nd and 9 as Marcus Lucas, the defensive end, gets the stop. There's the O-line led by Sean Sampson, Gilbert Ellis, Salanoa the tight end, Bleskin at wide receiver, Cody Kirk is the running back. Cody off to another great start to begin the season. 2 in the backfield now, and this time McGee runs a little option play to Kirk, and Kirk slams it up close to the 50-yard line. Nice, well-designed play there, and taken down by Gavin Miller, the junior from Greeley, Colorado. Here's the defense. Miller, Gilmore, Smith, and Lucas up front. Linebacking core led by Clarence Bumpus in the middle, and he's a good one. And in the backfield, Morse, Bible, Dogans, and Gibbons. Bible with a couple of interceptions so far this season. Gain of 6, 3rd and 4 from midfield. Salanoa checks in along with Gilbert. Here's McGee. Fires right side, caught by the tight end, and that's enough for the first down as he takes it down to the 43-yard line, and that'll move the chains.
Northern Colorado brought blitz on the backside, recognized quickly by that offensive line as well as quarterback McGee, and he was able to just pop that thing out to the outside. Short gain, but enough to move the chains.
So the initial 3 results in a first down for Montana State. Here's McGee, little play action, rolls right. Now flips it to Salanoa, and Salanoa up over the 40 to the 39. Gain of 4 on the play.
Just a little run fake here to start this, the play action, and you can see on the outside, Salanoa plays off his block there and picks up his second completion of the last 2.
Salanoa coming into the game, 4 catches and a touchdown. They stay on the ground to Kirk, left side's got some running room, very close to a first down, and I think by the spot of the ball he's going to get it, brought down by Dogans, but that's enough for a first down.
This Montana State offense working very quickly here in the no huddle package. Here you see the run inside to Kirk, where he just cuts that thing out, gets inside the box of Catalano, and gets that thing up the field for another Montana State first down. They are waiting to move the chains here, but yeah, working with a lot of pace in that no huddle. And here we go. For the first time today, they're going to go 5 wide and empty out the backfield.
Flocketer also in at wide receiver. He's split left. McGee fires out there and in and out of the hands of Salanoa, who was open at the 25 but just couldn't hang on to the football, so incomplete pass. Brings up 2nd and 10. Quickly to what Rob Ash said about overlooking a team like Northern Colorado. He said, you know, yeah, maybe last year we might have a little bit, but I guarantee you this team this year, no such thing.
Yeah, I think just, well, you don't have to go back very far. To last year they were winless, and Montana State, it took a great performance in the 4th quarter to come out of Colorado with a victory.
Here's McGee's pass, and that's going to be caught out there in the right flat. Gain of 4 on the play. Caught by Bleskin and taken down by number 42. That's Kyle Griffin, the strong safety.
Well, just you can see they're coming out and throwing those short passes in the seams. We do have a Northern Colorado player down at the 20-yard line. Haven't picked up a number on that, but yeah, everything so far for that Montana State offense, very crisp.
Looks like number 23, Dogans, is the one shaken up on the play. He's down at the 20-yard line. Impressive drive here for Montana State, Mike, to open this game. They got the ball at the 43 and a couple of first downs, and they're down to the 27-yard line. So 11:29 to go. First quarter, no score from Bobcat Stadium. Montana State, your Big Sky Conference leader in 3rd down conversions, 30 of 53. This is a 3rd and 5. They shift Gilbert into the backfield now. McGee's going to roll right. Being chased and avoids one tackle. Now fires out there, and that's caught at the 20-yard line. Yeah, and a flag comes in after the play as Gilbert caught the bullet by McGee at the 20-yard line.
Well, as you see so often if you watch Montana State, quarterback Denarius McGee just makes it happen when things break down.
Well, Bumpus had him dead to rights in the backfield. Of course, they're outstanding linebacker, but McGee was able to avoid that and then connect on Gilbert. So the spot of the ball is at the 20-yard line. And the officials conferring over there, and we'll see what the call is. Rob Ash, he's helping him out.
I think he's getting them straightened out over there.
He's straightening that all out over there.
He would like to shorten up this conference significantly, I'm sure. Just tell him what the outcome needs to be.
Coaches are so good at that, right?
I mean, on the defense, number 11, 10 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
So either way, the Cat's going to get the first down. I'll tell you what, this is a sensational catch. Watch the speed that McGee throws this ball.
Well, the escapability first, and then when he plants his feet, I mean, I see with him considerable improvement on his arm strength this year, where we've seen him deliver balls with more zip than I think we have in those first 2 seasons.
First down, give us to Cody Kirk. Left side's got some room. Slams up inside the 15 down to the 10-yard line. That's a gain of 8 on the play. And brought down by number 32. That's Gibbons.
Great job by the offensive line. Cody Kirk is able to just get behind his center, Sean Sampson, and the guard, Matt Devereaux, on that one. They just sort of, the big boys led him up the field, Chris.
Trey Robinson now in for Montana State. He's in the backfield on 2nd and 2 from the 9-yard line. Here's McGee, straight drop, looks now, has Robinson wide open, touchdown Montana State. You can't get any more open than that.
And if you haven't watched much film if you're Northern Colorado, if you didn't think that they were going to number 7, let's watch it come right at you here. You can see he just peels out the outside of the line. There is nobody home. And again, for the 2nd week in a row, we've seen that easy throw and catch between number 9 and number 7, Robinson.
Well, Trey Robinson does a little bit of everything.
You know, he does, Chris, and he doesn't touch it very often, but when he does, it usually gets in the end zone.
There's Perez on for the extra point. It's good. 10:25 to go, opening quarter. Montana State strikes first. Back after these words from your local stations. You're watching Big Sky Game Day.
Well, here you'll see another look at the touchdown here. Denarius McGee, Robinson to his left. He just sneaks out of the backfield. They drag the receiver underneath, and as you can see there, nobody near him on the defensive side of the football.
Here's your Ford scoring drive. 9 plays, 56 yards, 3:39 off the clock. And the touchdown from McGee to Robinson, making it 7-0 in favor of the Cats with 10:25 to go, opening quarter.
When McGee looked sharp, 4 for 5 on that opening drive. The one incomplete was the drop ball to Salanoa.
Gunn and Jefferson back to receive, and again, Silva puts a leg into it. That's going to sail out of the back of the end zone. And let's go down on the field and join Jeff Everly. Jeff?
Chris, I talked to Coach Collins before the game, and I asked him, what do you tell a player in the living room to recruit him to Northern Colorado? He said 2 things, family atmosphere and a great education to get your degree. And I said to him, are you making any progress? Do you feel like you're going in the right direction? And he looked at me and he said, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. Chris?
All right, thank you, Jeff. Probable knee injury to Dogans, who went down. He's got the knee wrapped in ice. We'll try to get more injury update on him as the Bears go back to work on offense for the 2nd time. First time they were 3 and out. This time they'll run. They'll stay on the ground as Hildreth gets to the 30, gain of 5 on the play. Good gainer on the ground, taken down by Taylor Dees. Of course, Dees is in for the injured Zach Minner. We weren't sure if Zach was going to see any action today, but so far, Dees has been in.
Yeah, they didn't know if Minner would. He apparently did see some practice time this week, but still unsure with that hamstring. That time it was just a little I formation for Northern Colorado. Let him up in there, a nice cut back, and picked up 5 yards.
2nd and 5 from the 30. Lobato under center. He'll stay on the ground to Hildreth. And this time he's brought down, maybe gain of 1 on the play. So it's going to be 3rd and 4.
Boy, this time they bring it, they slide, protect this thing to the right, but watch the pursuit down the line of scrimmage by the Montana State defense. You see Noyakaola get there shortly after Preston Gale from his defensive end stop. You can see why Montana State has had so much success this year in the rush defense.
So 3rd and 4 from the 31. A bunch set formation to the left here as Lobato's out of the gun. Looks across the middle, incomplete. And good coverage. Broken up for Montana State on a good job defensively. Sean Gourds.
Chris, I think Sean breaks this one up with his face mask. Watch that ball come through there. It just goes off the hound to the receiver first, but Gourds in there as part of the nickel package that time. Yeah, as you said, the bunch formation, they tried to go with the quick slant, but it looks like another 3 and out for Northern Colorado.
Johnson back. Puckett to kick this one away, standing at his 15-yard line. Boy, Montana State's defense has been lights out so far. Oh, and Puckett, a horrible kick. And again, Montana State's going to have Great field position. Let's see where they spot the football.
Boy, it looks like an instant replay, maybe even a little bit worse than that first punt.
It's a lot worse because that's going to be a, what, about a 14-yard kick?
Yeah, that's
line of scrimmage.
Well, again, we've seen for the second week, Chris, where we've seen last week it was big plays in the punting game that have led to field position changes and points on the board. So far today, it's just been some mistakes and poor execution in the punting game that has really hurt Northern Colorado so far.
So first down for Montana State. Here's McGee, gonna fire it out here as a wide open man at the 23-yard line and just simply dropped. That was intended for Lee Perkins, the backup tight end.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of Perkins so far this season, but this time he is wide open, maybe a little bit too open. As you see the ball fake there, they look like they're going with that option look they saw earlier, but here you can see Perkins is there. Just a little bit too long to think about that one, Chris. He was, I think, mapping that one out for the end zone.
Flocketer and Ellis check in at wide receiver on 2nd and 10. Here's McGee, throws it out there. This time it's caught and down to the 30-yard line and a first down for Tanner Bleskin. Brought down by number 22 for the Bears, but not after he gains first down yardage.
Well, we saw just a little X fake, two backs in the backfield. They did the ball fake, and I'm surprised at just how open the Montana State receivers have been so far in this first quarter. Clearly some confusion in the secondary for Northern Colorado.
McGee flips it out here to Robinson. And Schrade ducks up inside. A gain of 5 on the play, 2nd and 5. Brought down by Griffin, the strong safety. Arenzo Davis in the lineup now. Of course, he's missed a couple of games and nicked up, but he's back and able to play today.
Yeah, good to have him back. Brings another dimension to that offense. To get that third back as we see him get the carry there. Nothing doing up front the middle that time, though, as he is taken down by number 94 for Northern Colorado. That is Lex Smith, the defensive tackle. He goes smooth, and I say smooth. You say it's too big to be smooth, but 6'4", 288 for the sophomore.
Like I said, there's no such thing as smooth at 284.
I think Lex would disagree with you, Chris. And you can go down and tell him, because
no.
I'm not going to be with you.
No, he can't hear me up here. 3rd and 4 from the 24 now for the Bobcats. They've been very good on 3rd down. It's a 5-receiver set. McGee across the middle. First down to Ellis and then some. So Ellis makes the catch at the 14 and a first down for Montana State. And so far, the offensive execution has been perfect.
Ellis comes out of the slot on the right, breaks free in the middle here, picks up plenty to get the first down. And as you said, Chris, Montana State's offense has been very, very good on 3rd down conversions. They are leading the Big Sky Conference, converting over 50% of their 3rd down attempts.
Cody Kirk back in for Montana State along with Robinson and Davis. Give us to Kirk. Kirk's got some running over the 15. Kirk to the 10, 5, touchdown Montana State. Wow, is that play drawn up nice. You could see this one coming right from the get-go as Cody takes the ball and literally walks into the end zone.
Well, there was some interest this year of how they would keep all these 3 backs in the game, but I guess the deal is you put them all in at once. But this time, you could see Trey Robinson was out in front of Cody Kirk. He was looking for somebody to block, and there was nobody there. A great job by that offensive line sealing the inside of that play and allowing it just smooth sailing to the corner by Cody Kirk. That is his 5th rushing touchdown already this season.
Here's Perez on for the extra point, and that is good. Comes with 6:47 to go in the second quarter. Montana State ups the lead to 14. Northern Colorado opens the second quarter with a 2nd and 4 from the 31. You look at the numbers and absolute domination by the Bobcats so far. This is Robinson. That's going to be a first down up to the 39-yard line. And Mike, that is the first down of the afternoon for Northern Colorado, as Dennis gets the 6-yard gain and a first down.
Yeah, nice play. They bring Dennis underneath. He gets out of here. Grosslack is blocked by the receiver. The pursuit comes from Montana State, but not until North Carolina. I haven't got to say it. I can't hardly get it out. Northern Colorado, first down.
Comes with 14:34 to go in the first half. Ball's on the 39 and a fresh set of downs for the Bears. Here's Lobato on the straight drop. Gonna air one out. This one goes high and deep and just out of the outstretched arms of Jefferson, who really had his man beat back there.
Jefferson had gotten behind. I think it was the corner on the outside, Deontay Flowers. But this one, starts with good protection in the pocket, but he is definitely behind the corner for Montana State. The defense dodges a bullet on that one, Chris.
Took a shot down the field. There's the numbers on Jefferson, and out of Moreno Valley, California, the junior wide receiver, 2nd on the team in receptions behind Gunn, who's been quiet so far today. Out of the I formation on 2nd down. Lobato up under center. They stay on the ground. And there's some good, well, it looked like he was going to get more than he did as Dennis got the call and looked like a hole open, but it closed down really fast as Flowers comes in and makes a stop.
Yeah, they do. You can see here they've got a good lead block in front of him, but watch Flowers come in from the outside and knife this one. Just a nice play by the corner that time. Redeem himself a little bit. He got a little stuff to make up for it. That last play, and got with a little got beat deep. Fortunately for Montana State, they were not able to come up with it.
Brad Daly is in on the Montana State defense. He was questionable for today, but good to see him in the lineup. On 3rd and 5 at the 44. Here's Lobato, throws out here, and this is caught inside the 40. That's a first down and a whole lot more. That's a big gainer by Darren McDonald. He checked in at tight end, makes the play.
Well, that's starting. They're getting better protection. You see the line play here, Daly upfield, but Seth Lobato able to set his feet and deliver the ball downfield to the tight end. All of a sudden, a real big change. They are moving the ball effectively against the Montana State defense.
Bethley in on the stop as...
I believe, Chris, that is the first completion of the day for Seth Lobato.
Gain is down to the 23 and a first down for the Bears. Bobcats show blitz, and Lobato flips it up there incomplete as he's hit back inside the 30-yard line, and Schreibeis with a big hit in the backfield for Montana State.
Yeah, you can watch Schreibeis will come from the top of the formation here. You'll come in from the left side. Lobato sets his feet, but watch 49 come in and get that arm right as he's trying to toss that one downfield. It looks like they may have had a man between the safeties, so a big play for the captain, 49, Schreibeis.
2nd and 10 from the 23. They'll stay on the ground to Dennis. Bounces off one tackle, but brought down, no gain on the play. And this is going to bring up 3rd and 10, trying to run into the heart of that Montana State defense. But Jody Owens says nothing doing, wraps him up. They'll give him maybe 1.
Yeah, that was just a good team defense. You can see they had everybody in there. But we see Brian Bignell, who made a nice play in the passing game. Boy, he just ate up a couple of blockers that time, and there wasn't any type of hole for Northern Colorado.
Sean Gourds comes in as the extra defensive back for the Cats on 3rd and 10. Lobato in an empty backfield in a 5-receiver set. Bobcats show blitz off the corner. Here comes Owens, and hit by Schreibeis, incomplete. And again, big pressure by Montana State as Lobato sat down back at the 30-yard line, and that brings up 4th down.
Boy, they bring the blitz here on the outside. Jody Owens comes from the bottom, but watch Schreibeis come underneath that block, and he just gets a clean shot that time, and Lobato forced to deliver that one a little bit early to avoid the sack, and it will force a field goal attempt. Looks like it's going to be a 40-yarder, Chris.
This is Eden from 40 yards from the left hash.
He's 3 for 5 on the year, long of 46, so within his range.
Got plenty of distance on this one, and a kick is up, and it's good. So at 12:03 to go in the second quarter, Northern Colorado gets on the board on a 40-yard field goal from Eden, 21-3 our score.
I'm Dennis McGee, and this is my dream. Somehow, I end up in a place
2nd and 10 from the 20 for Northern Colorado. You look at the disparity in total yards. Here's Lobato, fired out to his right. That's caught. And out of the backfield, that's going to be good for a first down.
Trumaine Dennis breaks out of the backfield there, and they do the little swing pass to the flat here. And he takes it right off the edge of that tackle and then catches ball. And you can see not anybody there for the Bobcats. It looks like they were a little bit soft on that outside zone, playing deeper.
Bears offense finally starting to get going here with a little bit of momentum in quarter number 2. Their last drive resulted in 3 points, and now they have a first down to the 36-yard line. This time they'll line up out of the I formation. Lobato pulls it down. Looking, gonna air this one out long and deep, and this one is caught by Gunn inside the 10-yard line. Wow, what a catch by Gunn. And that was pretty good coverage by the Bobcat secondary.
Not bad, but for the second time today, you've seen receivers deep beyond the secondary for Montana. Out, and you can see he unloads it, but Deontay Flowers is a couple steps behind Dominic Gunn.
Might have found something there.
Well, they are getting it done in big chunks here these last 2 possessions after going 3 and out on 3 consecutive to start this ball game off.
First down and
out on 3 consecutive to start this ball game off.
first down and the call now, hit in the backfield, stays on his feet, gets back to the 10-yard line, but that's a loss of 2 on the play as Dennis had nowhere to go. Good job by Montana State. I think it was Ashworth that made the hit.
Ashworth was the one that made the initial hit. He good penetration and gets the first pop. He good penetration and gets the first pop. good penetration and gets the first pop. Going back here, watch him come from his nose. He plays off that block a little bit, gets enough to slow him down, and then Sheridan and the rest of that defense are able to rally to the football.
Under 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, Northern Colorado. Lobato throws into the end zone. This one's caught, touchdown. Well-designed play as they go into the end zone to Stemphill. And just like that, the Bears
Well, Chris, I
answer
think
with a
that,
touchdown.
yeah, and that answers the question of whether this group is going to stay in it and continue to fight here. This is just nice. You can see they're rolling him just a little bit here where they've had success, and this ball is just open to a pretty well-covered receiver, but the ball delivered perfectly.
Yeah, Bethley was right there, so ball down and kick is up and good for the extra point. It comes at 7:45 to go in the second quarter. 21-10 our score in Bozeman. From Lobato to Gunn. Let's go down on the field and join Jeff Everly.
Well, Chris, after that long pass, I was on the Northern Colorado sidelines, and Clarence Bumpus had this huge reaction on his face, and I can't repeat what he said on TV, but he said, blank ain't over yet. So they've got some optimism on the Bears sideline, Chris.
Yeah, you know, Jeff, I was just watching that from up here. Bumpus, the two linebackers, they kind of got together over here on the Colorado got down big, 3 touchdowns, but 10 unanswered points by the Bears, and suddenly they're back in a football game.
Absolutely are back in this football game, and you can see Montana State in the secondary seem to take their foot off the gas a little bit. The deep balls, similar to a couple of the situations last week against Stephen F. Austin, we saw situations where it was more of a blown coverage late in the first half. That time, Flowers just got beat deep.
Yeah, he did, and Lobato showing good arm strength. We talked about his performance against Sacramento State last week. We had 30 completions and over 300 yards of passing offense, so we know this team is capable of moving the football through the air, and he's showing that he can definitely do that after the slow start. This one is a high end-over-end kick that's going to be returned by Johnson at the goal line. Johnson to the 15's got running room to the 20. Up over the 25, flag comes down. Johnson to the 30, but a flag on the play as he brings it out to the 32-yard line. But let's hold
looks
on
like
here.
That one may come back a little bit. They threw that ball in there. I don't know, the closest Bobcats I saw to it were number 25 Kirk and number 80 Salanoa. Didn't see a hold, but it certainly was in the area where you would expect to see that kind of call.
Well, and again, Mike, this is the point of the game where the momentum is shifted to Northern Colorado. Now you get a big penalty here, and the Bobcats get backed up deep in their own end, and all of a sudden your defense has a chance to come up with another big stop.
Yeah, I think this is a
29 on the receiving team, 10 yards from the spot on the foul. First down.
All right, so that'll bring it back to about the 22-yard line, I think, is where.
Yeah, they're going to go 29, Chris, and we don't have a 29 on our roster for Montana State, so I'm not sure who that penalty was. May have, in fact, been number 25, Cody Kirk. I don't want to give up my boy Cody, but he was the only 20-something in the area.
Yeah, who coached him? So there's Lorenzo Davis, and he's going to be wrapped up and taken down. And all of a sudden, this Northern Colorado defense is getting real feisty as Willingham gets in the backfield, wraps up Davis, and that's a big loss.
Yeah, Leon Williamson coming from the outside that time. You can see he gets enough, slows him down, and that for one of the few plays today where Montana State has actually gone backwards and now, backed up pretty deep in their own territory.
2nd and 11. Here's McGee. Has Bluskin all alone at the 15, and Tanner takes it all the way up to the 21-yard line, and that's just giving too much space out there. It was an easy pass and catch.
Too much space in a couple of ways. Watch the space. They roll McGee out, and Lorenzo Davis seals that to the outside. There's nobody there. Too much space for him, and then Bleskin able to just sit down on that route and wait for the ball to be delivered.
And Davis gets the call again, and that's a couple of real tough yards by Lorenzo. That's going to bring up 2nd and 8, and again, our good friend, number 51, Cameron Friend, in on the stop. All the talk's been about Bumpus going into this game, but I'll tell you what.
Bumpus was right there on that one too, so they got no shortage of linebacker play going on. We've called 51 Friend, who doesn't even start when they just had a big play on 1st down by Willingham, so they have got a solid group of linebackers.
2nd and 8, McGee. That's complete to the 25 to Robinson, and Trey, with a nice job after the catch, drags his man to the 30-yard line. And Denarius comes up limping there, and that's...
Yeah, McGee had pressure in his face that time by Marcus Lucas, the defensive end. You watch him come off the bottom of the screen here. McGee lucky to get that one away, but we don't see him taking the ground there. But yeah, he came up limping pretty good. I think he's shaking it a little bit off right now. It seems to be putting a little bit more weight on that leg, but he definitely got twisted up.
Here's your 5 receiver set now on 3rd and 2 from the 29. Denarius drop over the middle, caught by Gilbert, 1st down. Gilbert turns on the speed to the 45, and a 1st down gain by Everett Gilbert, and again brought down by Willingham, but not before Gilbert takes it all the way up to the 45 and a 1st down.
Montana State likes to get Gilbert the ball working across the field. You can see that time comes across the field under the backers, able to turn it up and make a big gain for the 1st down.
Ed Denarius wide open is Fuller, and Fuller takes a shot at the 40-yard line, but it's another big gainer and a 1st down. So Montana State trying to answer 10 unanswered from Northern Colorado, and moving down the field as Cruz Seawing checks in. No huddle offense.
Ellis come underneath, both safeties there to meet him, but a great job by Ellis to hold on to that football.
1st down, Kirk on the ground, left side, nothing doing. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
Nice stop that time. That's Courtney Hall, the backup cornerback that comes up. He's got 2 interceptions to his credit, but that's not an easy job for a corner to come up and make a big tackle like that up in the middle for short or no gain on the run.
Empty backfield, 5 receivers on 2nd down from the 40. Here's Denarius, good protection, now rolls out of trouble. Still looking, now will keep the football, pushed out of bounds. Good pursuit that time by the Bears defense. That's big number 94, Lex Smith, to ride him out of bounds after a 3-yard gain.
Well, it looks like they've got a pretty solid pocket here. Watch. Yeah, Weidenauer's got a pretty good job there. Sometimes when that quarterback runs out a little early, it puts makes you look bad, but it was a good block on the outside from the young tackle. Just Denarius doing what he does and breaking the pocket, trying to make a play happen.
Shovel pass inside to Robinson, and Robinson right at the 1st down marker at the 30-yard line. Smith brought him down. We'll see where that's a 1st down.
I think he's gonna have a nuts, Chris. And watch, Denarius is going to take another big shot on this play. They run a little option fake, the shuttle inside, and you see him get hit by a couple of defenders from that Northern Colorado defense.
So Perkins, the tight end, checks in. They got double tights now with Perkins and Salanoa. Davis now being animated. He wants to play, brought in from the sideline. So now the shift is on. 1st down. Here's McGee, looking, throws, and has Perkins wide open at the 15 and down to the 10-yard line. Lee Perkins just sat down in that coverage, wide open, makes the catch.
Lee Perkins, who we've not seen much of in the first 3 games, but has been a big part of today's game plan. Watch how they load the right side, they bring in looks like the heavy package, and they hit the tight end downfield. That is going to put McGee for already, Chris, 19 to 25, 202 yards passing, and we're still in the 1st half.
Here's Davis, and Lorenzo breaks a couple of tackles. Down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. Bump us in on the stop. Well, we thought before the game that we'd see McGee throw out of that big package, and we saw it there with Perkins, the tight end.
and just does a nice job. And obviously this is new, and you haven't scouted this if you're Northern Colorado, because Perkins, as we said, has not been a big part of the game plan prior to today. But here, Renzo Davis tries to break that, but a good solid tackle again by Bumpus.
2nd and 7 from the 7. And here's McGee, looks out here left, throws it up for Bluskin, and incomplete. Got single coverage out there, and Tanner tried to climb the ladder to pull that one down, but incomplete pass will bring up 3rd and goal.
Looked like good coverage on the outside there. That was number 20. That's Emmanuel Hamilton, 5'8", 181 DB. Good coverage that time. A little bit of space. Bluskin able to create it, but just not able to bring that thing in.
Empty backfield for McGee. So a lot of times you see the quarterback draw in this type of formation. Here's Denarius. Not going to run out of pressure. He's got some running room, and McGee's going to get into the end zone. Once he made the corner, Mike, there was no way he was going to be touched. He got to the corner, and 6 more for Montana State.
Yeah, I think McGee, when he pulled that one down, there's just a whole lot of open space out to his left. You can watch him here. He sets it, he breaks, he sees the open field, and there's no doubt in his mind he is going to turn that one up at that point easily into the end zone. Montana State answers that push by Northern Colorado.
So McGee on the 7-yard run ups the lead on the extra point by Perez to 28-10 with 2:33 to go in quarter number 2. And the Montana Ford scoring drive, 13 plays, 90 yards, 5:12 off the clock. Denarius McGee from 7 yards out and a touchdown. It's now 28-10. So Montana State answering that little mini run by the Bears in quarter number 2, and that was an impressive drive.
It really was. They did a good job of controlling the football. They mixed up the run and the pass. And McGee calls his own number down there on the end zone and tucks it in for the touchdown. But still, you know, Northern Colorado, after coming out cold on offense the first 3 series, then came out, started with the field goal, and had the nice 80-yard drive last time for the touchdown. So they've still got some time to work this down to a single timeout, but still plenty of clock to get something going before this half runs out.
A.J. Silva to kick it away. Gunn and Jefferson back to receive. 2:33 left in this opening half. The Bears, as you mentioned, Mike, with a timeout remaining and the football. And Silva gets a foot into this one. That's going to drive Jefferson into the end zone, and he'll take a knee. And it'll be first down from the 25-yard line. Thought about it maybe for a minute.
Yes, he did. And Dominic Gunn was there to make him think better about it.
Whoa there, big fella.
He put up the big one-handed stop sign.
Boy, the weather has been terrific here in Bozeman. You see the fans there, the shirtless fans as they are.
Good-looking bunch,
That
aren't
is a
they?
good-looking bunch. Look at all those flat stomachs out there.
Oh, the days, Chris. The days.
1st and 10 from the 25. Bears down 28-10 here as we wind down the first half of play. Here's Lobato now. He'll operate out of the gun. They stay on the ground. Not much doing there. That was a big hit by Montana State, and that's going to be number 47. That's Taylor Dees.
Taylor Dees came right in. They had a little X-exchange type move going on up front, and it took him right to the football.
When you're out of Huntley Project, you're expected to make plays like that.
Absolutely are, Chris.
Doggone it.
And they've made a bunch for a long time in those Class B ranks.
Former Red Devil. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11 now from the 24. Here's Lobato trying to set up the screen, and nothing there. Was intended for Dennis, but that was well defended by Montana State.
Brian Bignell, you can see number 99 there. He had that one figured out from the start. Lobato gave it some time to see if it would develop, but ends up forced to throw that at his receiver's feet.
Well, you really don't want to go 3 and out here, because if you're Montana State, you got 2 timeouts remaining and almost 2 minutes remaining in the half. So
yeah, they're going to definitely need to try and, this is a big 3rd down for both groups, because you don't want to give that Montana State group time with as much success as they've already had on offense.
Ball's at the 24-yard line. Here's Lobato on a straight trot, not getting pressure. and he's going to be taken down at the 15-yard line. Wow, what a big play by Bignell.
Brian Bignell, as we mentioned, has been out the first 3 games with a bad shoulder. We're told really hasn't been able to do much training at all, but look at the pursuit out of the pocket here. Number 99 has announced his presence, and he's saying very loudly, "I am back."
Boy, that is a huge, huge play for the Bobcat defense. Now you got Northern Colorado pinned all the way back to the 19, or rather 16-yard line. They're going to have to kick it away, and the Cats with plenty of time. $1:36 to go in the half and a couple of timeouts.
1:46 on the game clock.
They'll reset the game clock to 1:46. It's 4th and 19. So barring a huge kick, Mike, the Bobcats will have good field position, a short field here with plenty of time.
Yeah, Northern Colorado will have just a little bit of wind at their back, but it's died down a little bit since this game first began, when we saw some of those long kickoffs sailing out at the end zone. So he is, from a punting standpoint, they have struggled. Mason Puckett, a couple of shanks early in this one to set Montana State up in good field position, and you would think that all indications are that they will have just a great shot, have the ball at or near midfield by the time this one's over.
Total yards, domination by Montana State, closing in on 300 for the game. Johnson stands back at his 40-yard line. And let's see what Puckett does. Standing right at the goal line. And Puckett gets this one off, angles left and out of bounds. So again, great field position for Montana State with 1:40 to go. In quarter number 2, they'll have it at the 46-yard line.
Well, plenty of time for the distance that they would have to cover from there to try and put a few more points on the board before we take a little break. As you said, 300 yards in offense. Maybe they're getting tired, Chris.
That's a lot of offense, pal. But 301.5, we're still not out of it yet. And in the meantime, they've held Northern Colorado well under 200 yards of offense.
Yeah, Denarius McGee, 19 for 26, 202 yards already today. Look for him to pick up a few more here.
So first down, McGee's out of the gun, 4 receivers. Straight drop, looks now, fires, has Cody Kirk all alone at midfield, falls forward to the 47, 2nd and 3. Bumpus with the tackle, 2nd and short.
Nice little pickup underneath. You can see a good call. You're not in a hurry. You've got time to move this thing down. But Bumpus, again, is just everywhere for that Bear defense.
Gain of 6 now. McGee rolls right, fires, has Gilbert open at the 33. And Everett Gilbert having a nice day today, makes the catch and a first down for Montana State.
Well, Denarius McGee has spread the football around. If you're that defense from Northern Colorado, you have no way that you can focus. That's a 6 different receiver that we've seen catch the ball today. And Everett, as you said, having a nice half here.
Gain is down to the 33. McGee, little swing out pass here to Bleskin. And Bleskin with the catch to the 27-yard line.
Boy, it looks like, yeah, just again, three passes in a row, 3 different receivers. This one to the outside. Bleskin gets down. They called him inbound, so the clock has been moving.
Here's McGee, rolls left, looking, and now throws this one away, intended for Ellis. And McGee takes another shot. Good pressure by Bumpus coming from his linebacker spot.
But yeah, you can see him out. He just takes when he's got both feet off the ground, so he's just like a feather out there for that middle linebacker, but does do a good job getting rid of that one, stopping the clock with the incomplete pass.
Denarius has taken some hits today, shaken up a little bit here in the second quarter, but still in the game on 3rd and 4. And Denarius throws out here to the right, and this one almost picked off. Incomplete, brings up 4th down.
A good coverage on the outside that time. You watch this just one-on-one out here, and a nice job. Step in front of the corner defender there, and a nice play by Northern Colorado.
So 4th and 4, this is going to be a 45-yard field goal attempt for Rory Perez.
I think this is the same spot we've seen. He's had 2 field goal attempts now as a Bobcat. They're from exactly the same spot on the field with the exact same result, Chris. He is 2 for 2.
Just enough from 45 out. And Montana State extends the lead to 31-10 with 33 seconds to go in the second quarter. So the Bobcats force Northern Colorado to a 3-and-out, Mike, get the football back with the short field, go down and add 3 more points. Now this game is decidedly turned around. The Bears had gone on a 10-0 run, got within 11 at 21-10, but quickly the Bobcats have responded with 10 of their own and now have upped the lead to 31-10.
Yeah, we've seen them answer, as you called it, that mini run from Northern Colorado. They've answered twice in the last 2 possessions. In the first half, of their 6 possessions, they have scored on all but the one where they were forced to try the little rugby punt. But there you see the drive, and it was didn't take long, Chris.
Montana forward scoring drive, 6 plays, 27 yards. Perez, 45-yard field goal to up the lead here, and Coach Ash got to like what he's seeing on both sides of the ball today in this conference opener. We mentioned Northern Colorado played Sac State last week. However, that was not a conference game. That was a non-conference game.
Yeah, one of the kind of unique things about what's going on this year, and I think what going forward is that Big Sky teams or conference teams will be able to play each other on a non-conference slate.
And Sylvan, this one's going to be returnable by Jefferson, and he's got some running room up over the 30, still on his feet to the 40, and the gain to the 41-yard line, but just 27 seconds to go in the second quarter. Alexi Grosselak makes the tackle. Jeff?
Such a range of emotions on the MSU sideline, Chris. When they were up 21-0, everybody was smiling, laughing, having a good time. Northern Colorado scores 10 points, much different ball game. But then Brandon North, the MSU secondary coach, preached discipline, technique, and communication. Sure was work on that last defensive possession.
No question about it. So we'll see what Lobato does here with 27 seconds here in the second quarter, and he's going to go up top. Lobato, and this one almost picked off, but a great deflection by Sean Gourds. Gourds knocks it away, second down.
Nice coverage that time. Gourds in as the nickel back that time. Comes underneath, is able to get up, get a hand on this one. Incomplete.
Austin Wilbur's in at tight end for the Bears on second down. And Dennis in the backfield for Lobato. Here comes the pitch and catch up close to midfield, going to be about 3 yards short. Jones in on the stop.
Austin Wilbur's on the reception there, does a nice job. The tight end kind of H-back. We see him line up both on the line in the backfield today of bringing that one in and getting out of bounds to stop the clock. Give them another 15 seconds to maybe take a shot. We've seen them get deep. They've been able to get behind the Montana State defenders a couple of times today. You wouldn't think that would happen in this situation, but flash back to 1 week ago.
Well, Flowers giving Gunn all kinds of room out here on the right. Let's see if they go that way. Nope, they're going to go underneath. And Dennis runs it out of bounds. Stops the clock with 10 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think that was actually Hildreth that catches it. Just sneaks out of the backfield, drops underneath. Montana State content to give them that all day.
Yep.
You know, they would have to do that. There's just not enough time to advance the ball down the field, even to field goal range when you're just doing those short little underneath. But it got them the first down and going to give them another shot, maybe to take it deep.
Well, you can use the field because you have a timeout remaining, so you can do something across the middle. They need about 15 yards to have any chance of a field goal here. First down from the 46. Lobato. That's in and out of the hands of Hildreth. So incomplete pass with 6 seconds to go in the second quarter. Now you got to heave one up there, right?
Yeah, you heave it up, or if you want to try and go for the 3, you can do that too. As you said, they can throw it over the middle underneath that coverage and maybe get a shot at the field goal, but I'd look for them to try and take a shot at the end zone. They've got, a couple of talented receivers out there in Gunn and Davis. We haven't seen much of Davis today, but still guys that can score quick and in a hurry.
Flowers has given Gunn about a 15-yard cushion out here. Here comes pressure up the middle, and this is caught. Is he out of bounds? Yeah, he is. With 1 second to go.
Well, just as we talk about it, Jace Davis had a big game against the Bobcats 2 years ago, missed last year because of academic problems, but he had a huge game last week at Sac State and makes a nice reception there to
That's pretty
give
good
him a shot.
execution,
Yeah, it really is. They're going to bring in the field goal route. They'll take a run at a 42-yarder. Again, Eden's long on the season, 46 last week at Sac.
This will be 42 yards from the left hash. Ball down, kick on the way, got plenty of distance. And that is right through the middle, and that takes us to the end of the first half here at Bobcat Stadium. 31-13 our score, Montana State on top, but Northern Colorado comes away with the field goal late in the second quarter.
Well, yeah, they are. We've seen a couple of teams. They continue to answer back. There is no give in this Colorado State team. Despite a slow start, they're continuing to play hard.
Yeah, it looked like, you know, this game could get entirely away from them in the first quarter. They got down 21-0 and really nothing doing on offense. They couldn't get anything going. They couldn't stop the Cats, and all of a sudden they got the 10 quick points. Cats answered, field goal here. So Northern Colorado, after a very, very slow start, just trying to edge their way back into this game a little bit. But I'll tell you what, Mike, it's going to be a big hill to climb for them in the second half.
It really is, but like you say, you know, when you're trying to turn a program around, very important that you get a team that continues to play hard. You've got to keep fighting in these situations.
Let's go down on the field with Jeff Everly.
Here with Coach Collins. Coach, how big of that field goal was that momentum-wise for you guys?
Oh, it's big for us. Just, you know, we got 30-something seconds there before the half and got the ball on the 25. We were able to drop the ball down and get in field goal range. So that was big for us.
The Montana State offense has been so efficient in the first half. How can you limit them in the second half?
We just got to figure out the adjustments at halftime and get a beat on it, and we'll get it fixed.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Coming up is this week's edition of Proud to be a Bobcat, presented by Montana State University, and then stay tuned for the Wired X halftime report.
The ball around it, a very, very tough team to defend by any team, obviously, but Northern Colorado really with their hands full in that first half.
Well, yeah, when you've got a quarterback like Denarius McGee that can get it done with his arm as well as his feet, it puts a lot of pressure on that defense.
Well, and I like the way that Montana State really spread the ball around in that first half. They had a good run-pass mix, and for the most part, the defense very stout, although Northern Colorado was able to come up with some big plays via the long pass in the second quarter.
Yeah, and here they did, and then Montana State answers, the last one being the touchdown towards the end of the half. Here we see Denarius McGee sits in the pocket, sees all the open territory off to his left, and he knew right at the 10 that he was tucking that thing and going in, and that's, you know, that's what we talked about. That's the second half of him. Not only can he hurt you with the pass, but if you give him space, he's more than happy to take it and tuck it and run upfield.
So dangerous, can do so many things to hurt you as an opposing team. We'll be back as the Wired X halftime show continues in Bozeman.
Legends of the 2002 Montana State football team, running back Brian Johnson and defensive end John Montoya. You guys were a part of history in defeating the Grizz for the first time in 16 years in Missoula. Just talk about that experience.
You know, it was a crazy day. It was a blizzard. You couldn't ask for anything more going into a hostile environment there. And the team just pulled together. The defense played amazing. It was a low-scoring game, 10-7. We ran the ball all game long, and And you know, putting an end to that was elation afterwards, and we guys were hugging and crying, and I think it really set us up to move forward with the program for the years to come.
Yeah, it really was a memorable moment, and I can remember that day very vividly. Like Ryan said, it was snowing, it was hard to see. It was guys, though, they pulled together, and in spite of the weather and the circumstances, we came out and we had just a great performance on the field, and it was just exciting to be a part of. So,
first win against Montana in 16 years. What did that mean for the program, Montana State, and the people of Bozeman?
I think it meant the world. I mean, we got back to where we should be, and we won the national championship in 1984 and 76. And we had a downturn there for a while. It was a point where we had lost 18 straight games. We ended up beating Weber State that year. It was 2001. We went on to have a good year that year, and set us up for success the following year, where we were able to win the Big Sky and beat the Grizz and go to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. So it feels good that maybe we had a part of building what's going on now at this university.
Yeah, it really was a turning point for our season, and just seemed like every week we'd always be looking ahead toward that game, and it just was neat to get to that game. Felt like it was everything came together for that game, and as Ryan pointed out, just feels like it was a turning point not only for our careers but also for the program as a whole.
Was there one moment in that game that really stuck out to you guys as kind of the defining factor in that ball game?
You know, Travis Lulake, you know, he came in and we weren't throwing the ball the whole game, but we got one big play where he threw it to Junior Adams, and he had a long touchdown run, and it put us ahead, and I think that's the main thing that I remember.
You know, this guy's a really humble guy, Ryan. He really was an anchor for us on offense, and defensively we just thought if we can just keep those guys out of the end zone and maintain just a small lead, then hopefully we can pull it off, and thankfully that's the way it worked out. So,
when you guys look at the 2012 Bobcat football team, how far can they go? How good are they to you guys?
I mean, I think the sky's the future here. I mean, we've built momentum every year over the last few years, and you look what they're doing now. This is a team that has resiliency. They fight back when things go wrong, and that's a mark of a team with true character and integrity, to be able to just not put their tail between their legs and go over the sideline and mope around, but to encourage each other and go back out there and make a big play right afterwards. I mean, they know that a setup or a setback's simply a setup for a comeback, and you can see it in the way that they play.
John, Ryan, thank you guys so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Coming up, more of the Wire.
Tell you what, they've evened up a heck of a lot more than after the first quarter, Mike.
Yeah, it was. Well, when you start at 0, it was only going to go up for Northern Colorado. But you know, look at that; it's very one-sided. But they have been able to, if they being Northern Colorado, put some passing yards on the board, 148, which is respectable at halftime. Of course, Montana State has really been thrown up with the 229. But if you look at that time of possession, it just feels like Montana State has had the ball just the whole first half. But no turnovers for either team, so clean there. Penalties, 3 for both, not much yards. So really a good, clean game so far. Not a lot of mistakes, but Montana State just out-executing Northern Colorado.
Yeah, look at the rushing yards. Virtually nothing on the ground for Northern Colorado. They weren't real good coming in rushing the football, but you got to have better numbers than that. If you're going to just throw the ball all the time, that's going to be awfully tough. So we check a look now at the scoreboard from around the Big Sky. Halftime here at Bobcat Stadium with Montana State on top, 31-13 our score. Lots of offense by this Montana State team in the first half of play, Mike, and they got it going early and often against the Bears in this Big Sky Conference opener. There's the first highlight. How about a little bit of a flyover, huh?
Flyover for that homecoming crowd.
Yeah, that was good stuff. And then Denarius McGee doing a little airmail of his own to Trey Robinson for the first touchdown of the game.
Spread it around to Bleskin up here for a nice pickup. They came out executing very well. As you see Cody Kirk go to the outside. Nobody home. Trey Robinson can't find anybody to block.
So that was a big early lead for Montana State. And then that Bobcat defense starting to flex its muscles midway through the first half. You see the play there, and then Denarius McGee pumps once, fires across the middle to Everett Gilbert, and Gilbert takes it down inside the 5-yard line, and from there, give it to Cody Kirk, who bashes in for the touchdown.
Cody Kirk been in a couple times today, I think, already. And a good first half, but Northern Colorado is not done.
No, they did. They answered in that second quarter. First points of the game by Eden on the long field goal. That put the Bears on the board at 21-3. And then, Mike, things got a little interesting.
Yeah, they got Lobato to the outside, and boy, look at, it's Gunn. He's deep. That's what just, you cannot let down against talented receivers like this, because when you got a quarterback with an arm like Lobato showed again there on the short pass, they can get you for big bunches in a hurry.
Cats answered right back after it was 21-10. They go to Perkins here, and then McGee pulls it down, and boy, he just gets it going on the outside, turns the quarter easily for the touchdown.
Lobato here, you see him. This is Davis underneath the coverage. The end of the half, they were to move it into field goal range, and they come through.
All right, that's where we stand at 31-13 at the half. Let's go down on the field to Jeff Heberly.
Here with head coach Rob Ash. Coach, you guys were so effective offensively in the first half. Why was that?
You know, I think we had a good plan, and we came out and really were sharp with it, especially in the passing game, executing the plan. I think our guys also were determined to come out and start better than we had the last, well, really any game this season. We worked on that all week about being sharp at the beginning, and it paid off.
Northern Colorado's passing game was also pretty efficient there in the second quarter. How do you limit them in the second half?
Well, we've got to play smart with our coverages, keep every ball in front of us and inside of us like we always do, and then we still, the same thing I've said for 3 weeks, we got to get somebody to the quarterback. We've got to get some pressure on him because he's got too much time to throw.
Thanks so much, Coach. Rip, back up to you.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And he's right about one thing. Coach Asher's right about a lot of things, but the one thing he did say there at the halftime, they wanted to get off to a better start. They had struggled through the first 3 games to really get it going, and we saw that in this game. First 3 possessions and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, they came out, they were hot on offense, and they were equally hot on defense. First 3 possessions, touchdowns, as you said, but the flip side of that is defensively, first 3 possessions are 3 and out for that Montana State defense. So if the goal was to come out and get started, they certainly accomplished that.
Well, we talked about this being the Big Sky Conference opener for both teams. For Montana State, next week it's down to Cedar City to take on Southern Utah. Back-to-back road games for the Cats, and then at UC Davis. And then a huge game looms on the horizon October 13th as they take on Eastern Washington. An open date on the 20th. North Dakota at home. We'll be on hand for that game, Mike. And then on to Sacramento State, home to Portland State, finishing the season at Montana to take on the Grizz. And late word right now from Missoula, Northern Arizona has gone on top of Montana 27-24. That's late in the third quarter at Washington Grizzly Stadium.
Well, they got a good battle on there. That would be, boy, if any of you would hold on, that would sort of turn a lot of people's conference predictions upside down in a hurry. But I think we're going to see some of that, Chris, that there's a lot of good teams in the Big Sky this year with the expansion. You're going to have schedules. It's not the round-robin format. We're going to see a bunch of exciting football.
Yeah, we are. This Big Sky race is going to be very interesting. And our next broadcast comes on October the 13th. We'll be in Missoula and revisit the University of Montana as the Grizzlies host.
Yeah, they won the toss and deferred, so it was their choice. They have chosen to take the football. We'll see how, really a critical thing, I think, this first series for both teams. If you're Montana State, you want to put your foot on their throat. If you're Northern Colorado, you say, hey, we're not done. We're going to get stopped here.
This one's going to be returnable, and Davis coughs it up, now picks it up at the 10, going backwards, and he's going to be taken down at the 5-yard line. So a costly mistake for Lorenzo Davis as he tried to get to the outside, but Griffin drags him down, and the Bobcats now will have a first down from the 5-yard line.
You can see it looks like a fairly routine catch, very short kick. Davis coming upfield, just doesn't get there, and then makes a kind of compounds a mistake by going backwards on that, and he's really got Montana State offense will come on backed up against their own goal line here.
Cody Kirk in at tailback to start the second half of play. He's in the backfield. There's the numbers on Denarius McGee, and they're good. And the give is to Kirk. Up over the right side. Give him 3 on the play. So a little bit of breathing room there for the Montana State offense.
Yeah, nice job that time by Cody Kirk. He gets out to the right, sort of fishes his way through that hole, and does get a little bit of breathing room, you said, but still second and about 8.
All right, McGee throws out here to the flat. That's caught by Ellis, and up over the 16, and that should be enough for a first. Well, just short. It is a first down.
It's going to be real close, but yeah, just a quick little out throw. Denarius just sets his feet and lets this thing go. Ellis on the out. The DB comes up, but he cannot get there in time.
First down. They'll stay on the ground to Davis, and Davis is going nowhere. Good tackle by Willingham in on the stop, so second down.
Yeah, Arenzo has not had a big day rushing the football. Just 6 carries, only 13 yards as we see him backed up there. The yards have been pretty tough in the rushing game. Kirk was hot early, and then they went to a couple different packages, sort of got away from the rush, and we'll see where they end up here.
Here's McGee's got all kinds of time now, throws it out to Robinson, and Trey with a good move at the 20, up over the 25 to the 28, and that should be enough for a first down. Taken down by Gibbons, but not before he picks up first down yardage.
Marcel Gibbons, their big corner, is able to come up and make the stop. But I tell you what, those two guys look like they have just, they play with such a quiet confidence. They being McGee and Robinson, they always seem to be in control of the situation. No matter how the play develops, they look like they're reading it about, it looks like
offside.
Everybody else is in slow motion for them.
Defense, 5 yards, first down.
Willingham jumps offside, so that moves the ball up, and it'll be a 1st and 5 now for Montana State.
Those Northern Colorado linebackers, as well as they've played, have been really not able to time up the blitz very well so far this afternoon.
Here's Davis, got a little bit of running room and takes it up to the, still on his feet, and that's going to be a first down. So a great second effort, although there is a flag on the play right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they threw that flag at the feet of left tackle John Weidenauer, but I did not see how he got there. He was on his back, I think, when the flag came in.
Chop block, 55 offense, 15 yards, remains first down.
Yeah, that's a big one, and that...
Yeah, let's watch it here. Focus on the left side of your screen there. Weidenauer, you see him go down inside. Yeah, it's that classic situation. The guard, Devereaux, was engaged on that backer. When one man is engaged, you cannot come with a second player and go below the waist. So a good call that time by the official, and that's going to set Montana State back a spell.
All the way back to the 22-yard line, first down. And Davis is going to be taken down, and that's a big loss on the play. When again, a good job by Smith coming in there to make the sack in the backfield. I've checked that was Marcus Lucas that makes the play.
Yeah, I think number 50, Cody Gilmore, is there as well. You see him slip that play inside and force it outside to number 99, Marcus Lucas, for the loss of yardage.
So Cats going backwards now. The ball's at the 17, 2nd and 20. And McGee with an empty backfield's got the 5-receiver set now. And Denarius with a straight drop, looks across the middle, sidesteps one tackle, flag comes down, and this one is picked off and coming back the other way. Well, all kinds of things were happening there. Courtney Hall got the interception, but a flag up here at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, the flag was upfield in the secondary. It came well before the ball was thrown, so I'm not sure what we're going to see there, but it looks like, I think this one is going to go against Northern Colorado. I think they had a hold downfield.
Well, McGee signaling, he thinks it's against the Bears, and it is.
Number 11, defense. 10 yards from the previous spot. First down.
So it goes against Courtney Hall, who made the interception.
Yeah, that's a break for Montana State. The penalty occurred way before the throw was made, but again, that's where we see the one downside of that attitude and that never say die effort of McGee is that he will occasionally try and get that ball put something in there right at the last second, force it a little bit, and get the turnover.
And we're not quite ready to go yet.
I think the question is that
where's the spot?
Was this an automatic first down? But it appears that it was. They are going to set the chains, and it is. So that's a big break for Montana State.
All right, so McGee now operates out of the shotgun. He's got Kirk behind him, and McGee brings it down, throws out there, and complete to
who else?
Well,
Tanner Bluskin. Yeah. When in doubt, it's probably number 86. And here, just as he's done all day, when McGee has time, but we do have another flag. This one in the area of holding on Montana State.
61 offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Remains first down.
It goes against Foster, the converted tight end on that O-line. That's going to back him up. And so what was pretty much a mistake-free game, Mike, here in the third quarter, and we're seeing a lot of flags on the field.
Yeah, just the 6 penalties in the first half, and now we're seeing, boy, a bunch to get the second half started.
So the Bobcats, they like that 17-yard line. They're back to the 17. It's 1st and 20. They'll stay on the ground. Trey Robinson taken down in the backfield. That was a great defensive play there. Coming back from the backside was Sierra.
Dominic Sierra comes from the outside. Watch him chase this one down. They get the cut back, but he was all over that side from the beginning, ran it down from the backside. Another linebacker making a play for Northern Colorado.
No gain on the play. Remains 2nd and 20 from the 17. Here's McGee, blitz coming off the corner. Fires out there to Flocketer and caught. And Brian Flocketer takes it to the 25-yard line. That's his first catch of the afternoon. The sophomore from Laurel makes the catch.
Comes in from his slot down here on the near side of the field. They pick it up, they throw underneath, but again, with the down and distance, Northern Colorado will give that one up because you've still got 13 yards to go from that spot to get the first down here on 3rd.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 13 from the 24 as McGee with the straight drop. Surveys the field, and he's going to be brought down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. And again, that's just good coverage by that Northern Colorado secondary, and then Isaiah Jones and Bumpus make the stop. It'll bring up 4th down.
Plenty of time to get rid of the football. That time, just nobody open. And so far, this defense has got the early edge as Northern Colorado has come out and forced Montana State to punt the football.
So Perez stands at his 5-yard line. Flag comes down, and now Perez is going to be stopped right there at the 7 as he's taken down. There is a flag on the play. Now this could be big for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, absolutely could.
Offside, 32 defense, 5 yards, remains 4th down.
Well, Montana State's going to get bailed out on that one, though, so they will get another chance to punt the football. Won't be nearly enough for the first down, but it will give them another chance to kick the ball away.
Well, Gunn's going to have a chance here. He's standing back.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they kick the ball to him. If I'm Rory Perez, I'm looking for that far sideline. Keep the ball as far away from him as I can.
So Rory, this one, it's not going to be kicked to Gunn, but
he kept it a long ways from him, about 50 yards, Chris, because that was just a pure shank.
9:23 to go in the 3rd. When we come back, Northern Colorado with the football. It's now a 31-16 game, so the Bears back to within 2 possessions. They capitalize.
Yeah, they came out, they got to stop. They forced Montana State to punt the football, and they were able to put points on the board. Now they're going to have to do that in concession here, or Chris, to have much of a chance here, because this thing is, they dug themselves a pretty good hole, but it's just down 15.
Here's Ellis. He'll return this one up close to the 20, stays on his feet, spins forward just over the 20. Good special teams play by the Bears in coverage as the Bobcats now go back to work for the second time here in the second half on offense. Didn't look productive on that first possession, Mike. And
no, really came out and looked out of sync from the time they tried to field the opening kickoff, Chris. They were just made a poor play there. Didn't look like they were really all on the same page, and then of course they had the multiple penalties. So let's see if they can get it cleaned up here on this second try of the second half.
And here's McGee now, fires out here to the right. That's complete to Bleskin. And Tanner picks up 6, maybe 7 on the play. And Morse in on the stop for the Bears.
It's number 22, Michael Morse, who does a nice job of driving up on this thing. But after about 7 quick ones for Montana State.
Here's Cody Kirk with a great second effort. Looked like he was going to be stopped well short of the first down, but takes it up over the 30 to the 31. And that is a first down. Boy, that's some good hard running.
Yeah, well, just watch him bounce this thing inside, because he's got number 56 Bumpus right across from him. But watch Bumpus, they flow. Cody steps on that left foot, gets upside, bounces off the backer there, and is able to just pick up enough. That was number 52 that had a shot of him. That's Hervé Tanya.
All right, so gain is to the 32 and a first down. Ooh, boy, that time, that's a big shot at the 35.
Boy, Jordan Bible comes up and lays a good pop on Kirk. You'll be able to hear this one as we got to the replay. He comes up from his safety spot. Bam! But somehow number 25 still ends up on his belly going forward. I'd say that's a good hard run just to pick up a short 3 or 4.
You earned a 4 yards on that one. So 2nd and 6 from the 37. Here's Denarius, flips it out here to Flocketer, and that's going to be a first down. So Flocketer with the catch all the way up to the 47-yard line. As we look at some scores from around the Big Sky.
Watch inside on the line here, Chris. It looks like they're chopping lumber. Both those inside tackles are down, taken to their knees. That makes a pretty good view for that quarterback when you're looking upfield.
First down now for McGee. Flips it to Robinson and Trey. Short gain on the play. Give him 3, 2nd and 7. And now a late flag comes down in the backfield.
I'm not sure what that was. Quite a ways away from the ball. Looked like it was in the area of number 30, the free safety Jordan Bible.
Substitution infraction. 12 men on the field on the defense. 5 yards. Replay, first down.
All right, so they'll tack on 5 more. 12 men on the field for Northern Colorado. That takes it inside Bears territory at the 49 and a 1st and 5.
And credit that to that Montana State offense. It's working with a lot more pace as they were like the first couple series of when this thing first started this afternoon.
And this time McGee keeps it himself, trying a little option there with Cody, but they close down on that very quickly. And again, good job by the Bears defense as they Tonier with the stop on the play.
Again, Tonier. What I want to meet this guy, Chris. This is a guy who has already completed his degree in electromagnetic engineering. I'm not sure if I even know what that is.
I can't even say that, let alone know what it is.
Now he's working on his 2nd degree in physics. Already been drafted by the Canadian Football League.
That's right. I saw that earlier this week. So no gain. It's 2nd and 5. Denarius flips one out here, and all alone is Ellis. And a flag comes down. Ellis, if it stands, is in for the touchdown. But hold on, there's a flag down at the 25-yard line.
Well, it's going to be interference is going to be the call. It's just going to be if it was on the defender or they're going to get Ellis for the push-off here. But he was definitely, there was contact, and then he was able to turn the corner and just break into the open field.
Hold, 22 defense, penalties decline, touchdown.
Beautiful play execution here by Denarius McGee.
Yeah, watch Ellis on the outside, see if we can get it. We missed the contact, but you saw it, and it was once Morse goes down, nobody home, touchdown Montana State.
So the Bobcats are on the board for the first time here in this second half, and Perez on for the extra point. And this one is partially blocked, but it still gets through. So with 3:57 to go in the third, Montana State ups the lead to 38-16. Montana State on top, 38-16 on the touchdown pass from Denarius McGee to Ellis. As this one is kicked away by Selby into the back of the end zone. And the Bears will have it at the 25. Mike, let's take another look at that touchdown pass from the end zone.
This is just Ellis on the outside, as we said, matched up with Norse. There was contact that we didn't see that drew the interference pass, but once Morse went down, there was nobody there to account for John Ellis.
So
49-yard touchdown reception.
Bears will try to answer back here. They've put up a field goal on the last time they had the ball, the forward scoring drive for the Cats, 6 plays, 79 yards. Ellis with the touchdown. So Bears 3:57 to go, third quarter, from the 25. Lobato, straight drop, pass, catch, and then some. Good catch and run, as on the reception was Stemphill. Moe Akiola trips him up, but not before he gets a gain all the way to the 44-yard line and a first down.
Yeah, Stemphill out in the slot. Again, comes into the middle of the field, and he's able to make Jody Owens miss and turn this one up for a nice gain for Northern Colorado.
Bears trying to answer the touchdown, and Stemphill's numbers, 2 catches and a touchdown today. He has Northern Colorado's only touchdown. So first down with Hildreth in the backfield. Lobato throws it out there, broken play. That was intended for the tight end, number 84, Doug Steele. Denarius Jones back there in coverage.
Yeah, that time just turned the wrong way, or it was maybe turned the right way, but the quarterback and the receiver, the big tight end, were not on the same page, and there was good coverage by Jones underneath that throw anyway.
Second down from the 44 out of the I formation. Lobato up under center, long count. Now flips it out here, and that's complete. And then falling forward to the 45 and very close to the first down was Davis, and Davis with a nice job after the catch.
Yeah, this is just one-on-one football out here. They're trying to get Davis in the open field against Jones. That time Davis gets the better of the play initially, but Jones gets help from the safety there, and Fuller is able to come in and make the stop, but still nice pickup. It's going to be just third and just inches, Chris.
Yep, less than a yard. I formation. Hildreth is the tailback. He gets the ball, and that's a first down and more. So Hildreth all the way to the 40-yard line as he pops through there, taken down by Jody Owens, but that's a first down for the Bears.
It's just a nice hole here, and you'll watch, you see the middle linebacker, Noeaka Ola, kind of overflows that thing, and the back is able to cut back inside of him and pick up the first down.
They're going to bring Jefferson in now at wide receiver as Lobato. Nice little drive here by the Bears trying to answer the Montana State touchdown, but the clock here beginning to be a factor in this game as we're down, winding down to the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. Here comes the blitz. Picked up nicely. Grosselak And now Lobato throws and it's incomplete. I'll tell you, Alexi Groslock came flying through there, got blocked initially, fought it off, and almost got the sack.
Yeah, he did. You watch him come, and he is coming with a full head of steam. The back will step up and try and pick him up. Watch him come here on the left side here on the top. The back picks him up, and then he breaks free. He gets another piece from him. Lobato going to tuck this thing down, and then he just throws it away in the area of his receiver that time. But good pressure that time. Number 44, Alexi Groslock.
Jefferson out, Stempel in at wide receiver. Got Davis out there as well. Two receivers to the left out of the I formation on second down. And the give is to Hildreth again. This time tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. Not much there, but a good defensive stop by Ashworth.
Boy, Ashworth coming from the nose, Groslock coming from the outside backer, and then the play gets cleaned up from the inside. That's just good team defense, going to bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Groslock back in now for Montana State on 3rd down.
Well, they've been doing an effective job the last few possessions. They're going to want to look to work that matchup where Jace Davis is, and he's going to be out here on the bottom of the field, one-on-one with Deontay Flowers.
3rd and 10 from the 40. Lobato's got time now, hit from behind, and Schreibai strips the football. Incomplete pass will bring up 4th down.
Well, Schreibai's made this same looking play coming from the left side in the first half. Here comes from the defensive right, offensive left. Just as he sets his feet, he gets the arm on an arm, and that ball falls flat.
So a big stop for the Montana State defense as Puckett will be in to punt it away on 4th down. Puckett high and deep. This is a good kick. Hits at the 5-yard line. It's going to be down inside the 10. Nice job in kick coverage by Courtney Hall as that was executed nicely. That'll put Montana State again deep in their own end.
Yeah, this for the 2nd time in this half. They will be down inside the 10-yard line to start a drive.
Northern Arizona on top of the Grizz 41-24 in Missoula. 5:34 to go in the 4th quarter. So,
well, Jerome Sowers, he's brought a lot of teams up there since he left as a defensive coordinator at Montana. So not able to get a victory yet, but Montana is never done in that stadium.
0 for 14 going into that game for Coach Sowers. Cats will stay on the ball. Lorenzo Davis reverses field. Not much there. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. No gain on the play. Miller in on the stop for the Bears as we're down inside a minute to go here in the 3rd.
It's just a straight give, and Davis has got nowhere to go. There's penetration from the backer. Then everybody else is able to rally to the football.
Here's McGee now, rolling pocket, and that's going to be caught at the 15. Up to the 16-yard line.
Boy, they've really been effective of this. This time, Chris, they just slide their whole protection to the right. They get McGee rolling. And again, Bleskin's just been able to come from the outside and sit down in the open gap, make the reception to get what is now, a much more manageable 3rd down situation.
Courtney Hall in on the stop to take him out of bounds. Got 7 on the play, so it's 3rd and 3, and they won't get a play off. That's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. After 3, Montana State with the lead 38-16 over Northern Colorado. Back with your final 15 minutes. After this, you're watching Big Sky Game Day.
A unique story, guys. He's a Kansas State transfer, and while he was at Kansas State, he was arrested. He came to Northern Colorado. In his first summer, he volunteered at the Boys and Girls Club. And I asked him, what was the key on that defensive stop? And he said, turn it up, baby, turn it up. It's all mental. Chris?
All right, thank you, Jeff. So Montana State with the football now on a 3rd and 4. as McGee goes across the middle to Everett Gilbert. Good safe pass, and Everett knew just exactly where he needed to be for the first down.
Boy, he did, and he shut it down right there in the middle. You know you're going to get contact, particularly when you've got a quality linebacking core like Northern Colorado does, but a good job to hold on and get the first down.
Here's the stats through 3 quarters as Denarius finds, that is Bluskin, and Tanner all the way up over the 40 to the 46-yard line.
Well, this time, this is a play we've been seeing all day. Just a little slide protection. They rolled out, and Bluskin has been sitting down in the gap here. But watch him. This time, instead of sitting down, he breaks it upfield, creates a space. McGee delivers the ball, and that's a nice pickup.
Stay on the ground to Davis, and Lorenzo Davis is wrapped up. That was a great play by Sierra. He came in from the outside, from the corner, and able to wrap Lorenzo up before he could get to the line.
Good defensive play call that time. Sierra blitzes right into this one. We saw him run one down in the first half on the blitz, but this one, the ball comes right to him. He's able to make the play. No gain, Montana State.
2nd and 10 now with the football at the 46-yard line. There's the numbers on Denarius, 32 of 41, 374, couple of touchdowns. Here comes pressure up the middle. This is Sierra again on the blitz. They get it off and complete to Davis, but no gain on the play. And again, Sierra just blew that play up as he came right up the middle.
Yeah, and who's there to make the tackle? You can see he gets pressure up the middle. He's able to drop back, avoid this thing out the back of the pocket. He gets the ball to Davis, but Clarence Bumpus is right there to make the stop.
Again, no gain on the play, so 3rd and 10. Empty backfield, 5-receiver set. Denarius straight drop. Surveys the field, underneath again to Gilbert. And that time there was good coverage there by the Bears secondary. That was Marcel Gibbons, the safety, who breaks it up, and the Cats will have to punt it away.
They come with the 3-man front, but they bring the linebacker and the pressure up the middle. But you know, that one was good coverage, was going to be well short of the first down yardage, even if he was able to hold on.
So the Bears with a good stop here, and that'll force Perez to kick this one away from inside the 35. Gunn stands inside his 15 to receive. Flag flies. Perez gets it away. Gunn calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 16-yard line, but we'll see what the flag's all about.
I think we're going to have offsides out here, but I think it will be against Northern Colorado, but I don't think it's enough for the first down. Well, it looks from the discussion that it may go the other way, actually.
Illegal motion, 37, kicking team. 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
All right, so that's going to back them up. Cats back up 5 yards. They'll kick it again, and that's
well, and I guess
the right call.
Yeah, Coach Collins down there.
Yeah.
You saw him make the decision. And you got a guy like number 16 back there, Dominic Gunn, that is just probably as dangerous of a return man as there is in this conference. You certainly want to give him another chance to go make a play for you.
Well, they would have had poor field position had they not accepted the penalty, because it was caught. Fair catch was made at the 15. So Perez will kick it again from his inside the 30-yard line. And boy, almost gotten up the middle there. Gunn is calling for the fair catch again. And it's in the exact spot it was
well,
before.
I think we could have saved ourselves a play there, Chris.
38-16 our score. Over in Missoula, Montana trailing Northern Arizona 41-24 as the Bears go to work. And some good running room up over the 20, close to the 25. We can update that score for you. It's now 41-31 as Montana has just scored again. So not over just yet. 10-point lead with 2 minutes to go in Missoula. That gain was up to the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 1. Clock most definitely beginning to be a factor, Mike, with the Bears trailing by 22.
Yeah, you think that they've got to try and get it up the field in a hurry, but they've got the weapons to do it, that's for sure.
Here's a little throwback screen, and that's going to be a big gainer. That was caught by Davis, and Davis all the way up to the 41-yard line. More important, gets out of bounds.
Well, Davis has really started to show here this second half. This is a guy who was first team all-conference in 2010. He's got a big boy out in front of him to get the little chip block, and Owens, you see, coming to the screen late to drive him out of bounds. But another first down for the Northern Colorado Bears, who are really starting to show a little bit, you know, that fight is still alive. They come out, played well in the third quarter, and have started this fourth quarter off well.
5 receivers set now for Lobato. Flips it out here on a little screen, and that's incomplete. They were trying to get it to Gunn and get him into some open space, but that throw just too high and too hard, and that goes as an incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's the throw that you really can't have be too high, because all you do is allow everybody to get there. The guy's got to catch that one in stride if he's going to move it upfield. But for a few times today, we've seen Lobato just deliver the ball a little bit high. But his numbers have started to improve from that horrific start. You know, now he's at 11-26, nearly 200 yards.
2nd and 10 from the 41. Here's Lobato, straight drop, pressure from right up the middle, and he's going down all the way back to the 30-yard line. And that's Schreibeis, who came flying straight up the middle to send Lobato down at the 33-yard line.
Well, that is for Schreibeis he's been such a good guy for them today. You've seen pressure. This time he's going to be able to get there, wrap him up for the sack. That is his, and that'll put him up to 3.5 on the season to lead Montana State.
Well, it looked like the pressure was coming off the edge, but as soon as Lobato stepped up into the pocket, it was lights out as Schreibeis makes a huge defensive play. So it's 3rd and 18. Spotted the ball all the way back to the 33. So here's Lobato on a quarterback draw, but that's doing nothing. Brings up 2.
That looked like a broken play that time. He was looking for, you see it did this snap, and he's looking for a back to deliver that ball to. There's no one there, so no choice but to turn it up the field and try and get what you can.
So the Bears will be forced to punt this one away as Puckett steps back to do the kicking, and Johnson to return at the 20-yard line. Pretty good kick, and Johnson's got a little room there as he fields it inside the 20. Johnson still on his feet to the 30. Johnson up over the 30 to the 31. Finally taken out of bounds, but a good return by Sean Johnson as Griffin rode him out of bounds. So the Bobcats now with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, more than likely, Mike, you would think will try to keep it on the ground, take some time off the clock, and really take control of this game.
Yeah, but you know, Chris, this second half, they've had a pretty difficult time rushing the football. So I think really you see they are going to go with Kirk now, who's back in the game, where we've seen Arenzo Davis for the majority of the third quarter. Cody Kirk has not had a carry for quite some time.
Well, he's got one now, and he's got some running room. And Cody takes it up over the 35 to the 36-yard line. So a 5-yard gain will bring up 3rd and 5. And that's what you want on those first down plays. You want that 4- and 5-yard gain.
Well, and we've seen Cody Kirk. He's their guy to do exactly what you said is the goal here, is to come in and try and eat clock, get enough yards to put things away. That was his role last year, and we saw him be successful in each and every outing where they had the lead and were able to hold on, where he's just able to chew it up. Before you know it, there's no time left.
And Kirk again, and he falls forward, and that's a first down. First down for Montana State. Now final in Missoula. Northern Arizona has beaten Montana 41-31. So a huge win for the Lumberjacks as they break that 14-game losing streak to the Grizz. And Jerome Sowers, as you mentioned, Mike, he's got his win in
Well,
Missoula.
you know, I'm a Bobcat, but I live in Missoula, so I cheer for the Grizzlies when we're not playing them. But you got to have a little bit of happiness for Jerome Sowers, because there's a guy who's put in a whole lot of effort over the years and tried to get a win against his old school, and he was able to pull it off today.
Montana State now content to stay on the ground and take a lot of time off the clock. And again, when you want to do that, when you want to control clock and you want to go to number 25, and Kirk picks up 3 hard yards on that one, so it's 2nd and 7 from the 46.
Cody you know he's going to fight for every inch that's available. As they see, boy, nice play over the middle to Bleskin again.
You know, Tanner's going to have one of those double-digit days receiving again, isn't he?
Well, I think that with that catch, I believe that puts him with 10 catches on the day. I believe that puts him over 100 yards for the day, which is another, as you said, that's 2 weeks in a row where that young man has really delivered for Montana State.
So Bleskin gives Montana State a first down inside Bears territory at the 42. Clock continues to run, and Denarius is, you know, he's so savvy at quarterback. He knows where the play clock is, and you watch him now. He's taking a lot of time off that play clock. This time they were flipping a little wide receiver end around play to Gilbert. Gilbert tries to get to the corner and doesn't. And that time, that was a great job defensively by Nwega as he closes down on Gilbert for no gain.
Yeah, Nwega was out there in space. Actually, Gilbert had a blocker, Trey Robinson, out in front, but watch the job that Nwega does of avoiding the block from Trey Robinson. Here you see Trey goes underneath. He's out in front of this thing, and boy, he had a shot at Nwega, and if he gets it, he's able to get in that seam, but a nice defensive play.
2nd and 10 from the 42. Here's Kurt trying to get through the right side, but Nwega's there to take him down. Maybe one on the play, so we'll call it 3rd and 9.
Well, Nwega making a couple plays back-to-back there. That's the 6'1" safety, 188 pounds, and just 2 nice stops for him. You know, they've got so many defenders on this defense that can come in and make plays, Chris. You just get the feeling that if they could ever pull it together and be a little bit more consistent and not give up the big plays, that this defensive unit is really going to come together and be something special.
Here comes the blitz up the middle by Bumpus. Robinson bounces away from it, and Trey takes it down very close to a first down. He's going to be a yard short, so we'll see what the Cats do on 4th and 1 as Friend makes the stop.
Well, you can see him. He just kind of fishes his way up through. Always such a patient runner, but he's going to be a little bit short. But Montana State is going to stay with the offense. They're going to bring Kirk back into the backfield to join Robinson. And Denarius McGee is going to be dropped back into that short pistol formation with both backs at his hip.
Give us to Cody. The hole is there, and Kirk with a lot of running room, still on his feet down to the 15, and a first down for Montana State. And Mike, that's a hole we might have been able to run through.
Well, we wouldn't have got that far, Chris, but look at, you're right, it just opens up. He gets a beautiful pull from Catalano there, and it's just watch him come across. He kicks out on the backer, and Cody breaks it up through there, able to secure the ball at the end of the run. Big first down pickup. Cody now up approaching that 100-yard mark of the day.
Closing in on 100 yards. More important, clock continues to run. This one about out of reach here unless Northern Colorado can come up with some sort of a big stop here. Nice job that time as nothing doing for Kirk.
Number 50, Cody Gilmore, the first guy to get there for the Bears on that play. He's starting today. They had Matt Gackle, their normal starter, went down this week in practice. So a nice job stepping up by the replacement there, Cody Gilmore.
Flocketer, Gilbert, and Seawing all in for the Cats at wideout. Robinson will be in the backfield for McGee on 2nd down, and again, Denarius running this play clock well down inside of 5 seconds. Snaps it with 1 second on the clock. And pressure up the middle now for Denarius. And he's got all kinds of running room. Denarius to the 10. Tries for the corner and out of bounds, but a first down as McGee. Broken play takes it all the way down inside the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 2 and a 1st and goal.
There's just no way to defend this, Chris. The pocket breaks down. He's got pressure. He's able to get out of it. There's no room to his left, so he's just going to take off and run. All the receivers, they're in man coverage. They've got their back to the quarterback. They can't adjust. And another big pickup and a nice job again rushing the football today for Denarius McGee. 7 rushes, 45 yards, one for a TD, and we might see him tuck another one here.
So 1st and goal from the 2, and the give is to Lorenzo Davis, and Davis met right at the line of scrimmage, and he won't get there. Stop short of the goal line. Good job by that Northern Colorado front wall. Tonier with the tackle.
Well,
actually lost a yard.
Montana State is going to go back with that 3 running back set that we saw have some success in the first half. McGee will have Davis on his left hip, Cody Kirk behind him, and Trey Robinson to his right.
They'll shift Davis now. And the give is to Cody. Cody tries to find a corner, cuts up inside, and he's whacked at the 3-yard line. And that's Tonier again. He's bringing it, huh?
He understands the physics. There's no doubt, because this is, I don't know the vectors and stuff, but there's plenty of force right there.
That is force against versus push, or whatever you want to call it, but definitely won that battle. So 3rd and 2. The only thing this drive is really doing, though, right now, deep in the end, is we're just running the clock off here now.
Yeah, they've already chewed up almost 7 minutes on this drive alone.
Here's Lorenzo Davis. He won't get there. And Davis will be stopped. So that'll bring up 4th down, and we'll see if the field goal unit trots on, or
well,
if they're just gonna go. Yeah, why not?
They're gonna trot Cody Kirk back on, it looks like.
Yeah. Well,
now it looks like they have changed their mind, and they are going to go ahead and kick this one.
So Perez will be on what amounts to pretty much an extra point attempt here. Clock continues to run at 2:45. This will be a 21-yard field goal attempt off the hold from Haluska. Ball down, kick on the way, and it's good. So 2:35 to go in this one. Montana State ups the lead to 38-16, but a flag on the play.
Well, that came in from the line judge again on the Northern Colorado side of the field, and he has been busy, Chris. So they're going to put the ice on that shoulder, because he has had that flag out a whole lot this afternoon,
especially in the second half.
Yeah, really. The first half was very clean, but the second half has been
11 defense. That penalty is declined. Field goal's good.
All right, so the Cats will take the points. They up the lead to 41-16 with 2:35 to go. We'll be back with the final few minutes of this one after these words from your local stations. Montana Ford scoring drive, 14 plays, 66 yards, and Mike, just what we talked about. That was the time of the game where Montana State wanted to assert itself, put this one in the win column. 7.5 minutes off the clock on that 4th quarter drive.
Yeah, the 3 points probably the least important part of that drive, Chris. You're right. 7 minutes, 28 seconds. That is doesn't leave enough time for Northern Colorado to get enough done here. Even though just 50, excuse me, they've stretched it out more. But yeah, that's just the backbreaker right there.
This one hits and goes out of bounds, and so the flag will fly, and Bears will have it with 2:35 to go here in the 4th.
Rocky
Final minute of play here in Bozeman as Bleskin in relief of Denarius McGee. A lot of new faces in there in the lineup, of course, in this final couple of minutes. And we've been talking, Mike, about the Big Sky Conference and the 4 teams that joined this year, as Johnson's got a little bit of running room. And Johnson's still on his feet.
You can see, I mean, we talked about the 3 running backs that we've already seen play today. Now, as we see Sean Johnson get his shot in the backfield, this thing's almost over, a little mop-up duty, but he's not done.
No.
He puts on a couple of nice moves there, turns this thing up the sideline for a big pickup.
Well, and you know, Johnson contributes in other ways. I mean, he knows he's not going to get into that starting rotation in the backfield, but he's a special teamer, and he's made some big plays and has punt returns and kickoff returns.
Yeah, he certainly has it. And all of those backs, Chris, you're right. They're all finding ways to contribute. They all participate on special teams, and they all block, and they all do what it needs to be done to have success on the offensive side of the football.
Bobcats will need to snap this one more time to officially put it in the books. And that's going to do it. So Montana State with I think, an impressive performance against Northern Colorado. You know, you always worry about a team having a bit of a letdown coming off that win over Stephen F. Austin last Saturday, but certainly not the case today, Mike, as they came out, put up 3 quick touchdowns, led 21-0, and then shut the door in the second half.
Yeah, it was a great start, and then they did what they needed to do to close this thing out. Taking 7.5 minutes off the clock in the 4th quarter, that's just kind of putting the dagger in it.
Yeah, well, Montana State will improve to 4-0 on the season and 1-0 in the Big Sky Conference. We'll be back to wrap things up here at Bobcat Stadium when we come back.
Head coach Rob Ash. Coach, you guys have had trouble, a little bit of trouble in the past against Northern Colorado, but 41-16 victory. How proud of you and your guys?
I really am proud. This was a dominating win today. We started out very good at the beginning and finished it off really strong. So I'm happy about our team's performance. You know, it's a matter of getting ourselves ready to play, and we learned a good lesson about what that'll do for our performance.
You guys were so balanced offensively. How proud of you were your guys offensively today?
Yeah, I thought Coach McGibbon had a really good plan, and we had a good mix of run and pass, threw the ball to a lot of different receivers, and that's what we've been trying to get to. I think it's going to do us a lot of good the rest of the season.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Congrats on the win. Chris, back up to you.
All right, thank you. So Coach Rob Ash got to be pleased with everything. One more time, the Rocky Mountain Bank play of the game, and here it is. Denarius McGee to John Ellis, and this is the one that broke it open as Montana State goes on to the 41-16 win over Northern Colorado. Good performance on both sides of the football. That's going to do it from Bozeman, where Montana State puts the finishing touches on this one. For our game day crew, for Mike Callahan, I'm Chris Byers saying so long from Bozeman.